Well, hello YouTubers. I know it's been quite a while since I put up a video. Had some other business to take care of. In the last 4 weeks, I've turned out 9 bowls. I've been busy, and I'm going to continue to put walking sticks on Sunday morning, just like I've always did, and I'm going to try to get back into that routine. You see, I got a hold of a big long stick here. My next project got a nice little crook in it right here, but it's still fairly straight from where you hold it. I have it marked. It ain't going to be a very long one. I'll be back. I'll decide whether I'm going to do some carving on it or what I'm going to do. So let me get that sanding done, and that's kind of boring, so you don't have to look at that. I'll get that done. I'll be back, and we'll talk about what I'm going to do with this stick. That big old thick stick a while ago, see, that's got thin down on the end of where we got 3/4 of an inch down there. First, I want to see how much of what I'm going to do, make a decision down here. I got that a little thin right there, so I want to cut that off. So I want to cut that off first. So I'll cut that off right there. Now that's going to be just about even all the way down. So I'm going to chop that off with a bandsaw. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have that little end cut off, and you see it looks a lot better now. It's tapered all the way down, and I did that taper to make this thing light. You don't want them too heavy. Some people like them heavy, some don't. But this is going to be a good weight when I get done with it. So I cut that off to where I want it there. So we have to remeasure this. Elbow 90 degrees. Remember that. And then lay a hand right there. And then I'll take my magic marker. Hey, magic, huh? And I go all the way around. Now, you see, we start out with a long stick, and then you have room to play there. So there's 90 degrees, another hand grip, and right there. So I'm going to cut that off. So I'll be back when I get that done, and we'll go from there. Okay, here we are in the carving booth again today, and I want to show you kind of a procedure here before I start the carving. On the stick, you see I have a little black mark right here, and that indicates where the top of where the hand grip is. And I have another mark somewhere there that marks the front of the stick. I'm going to carve a face on it. And I want this to be the center line, of course, right down here. So with that, I'll put his eyes. I think his eyes is going to be kind of slanted like so. If you want the eyes slanted, you go this way. If you wanted them droopier down, you go this way or straight across. But the idea is to get the eyes coming straight across, and the eyes will be something like this. And they'll get the same distance now off the center line. You can start here, and how wide is it, and how about where the bottom is, and you're going to get the eyes pretty similar around there. See that right there? Now you got the eyes coming around there, and they're about the same distance apart. Now for the nose, I want the nose to come down like so. So we're don't want to make it come to a point right there in the middle. So just kind of script that down to where it's about the same size on each side, and then bring it back into the middle, just like this. Now you see a face showing up there. The eyebrows are going to be cut in above that, so we can carve this away here for the forehead, and then come on down to the mouth right about here. And we want him to be, I don't know what the mouth's going to turn out to be, But the mustache, if he has a mustache, we'll start at the corner of the nose and come down this way and here and come down this way. Now we want it windswept, so we want to go down and out this way. This one will come around. It goes with the wind, right? So it goes around this way. Now his beard will go, the edge of his mustache, of course, is going to the edge of his mouth. And he'll go around like so. Trim off right there. This one over here. We'll go down. Now we have kind of a windswept beard that may or may not be the right point. We might want to bring it back a little bit more. We can always do that. There we go. Now that beard is about the same length there. And you can do that by just looking at them this way. But you've got a little bit of an angle here, you see. So let's go with that. And then below that, you've got a beard. Well, make his mouth right here somewhere. And then below the mouth, you can start the beard this way, but we want to bring the beard. See, here's the handle, and we'll go below that. So the beard is going to be blowing a little bit too. So it goes down here, and then your beard will show here. The mustache kind of overlaps the outside of the beard, and the beard will go down here, and it will wrap around some. So it goes, well, the wind's blowing this direction. So when you get up here, you can have the hair kind of coming over this way. We don't have to draw that right now, but then the face, want the face up into here and up into here. Well, see, we got it. Anybody can draw that. That's just a simple carving pattern that you go by to get you started. Now to start with, I'm going to dig in right here above his eye, from here all the way across. I'm going to dig in, start in the corner of his eye, corner of his nose, and dig in pretty deep here and go down. And then right here at the bottom of that, go up here, just above his eye, below that line. And then right here, below that line, then I'm going to go across the bottom and you'll start seeing the face show up. Then I go back up here and carve outside here, and that'll leave that eyebrow. So let's see how that works and get everything started. I'll get my hood on and we'll get to rocking and rolling here. Okay, I have my hood on, so it won't be much talking. I'll pull my hood down, turn the power on my hood. I have a positive pressure hood here. I'll show it to you. It's a trend, and it's worth the investment. It's a little pricey, I know, but it saves your lungs if you're going to do this. So let's get everything started. Okay, right above the eyes. Let's get a support there. Feel it out. Dig pretty deep. Now we have to do the same thing on the other side. We can do that for the nose. And then go in a little deeper. It's about like the other side. And go down a little deeper. Now, is where we got to get tricky here and turn this over, kind of over the other way here. Get this situated to where you can see it. So I get up here out of the way, and then I come right down this way. Yeah, right there now, I can come right down, but don't try to hold it here because it's too close to the thumb. Very close to the thumb if you hold it like that. So go up above like so, and then come right down the eye on that side. That should look something similar to that. Now while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and cut this nose over. Got that. Now go the other direction. Turn the stick quite a bit sometimes. Now you want to cut from the tip of the nose. Right in there. Now go here. You see from the side, can't hardly tell yet, but it's suddenly you can see the eyes and the nose starting to shape up. So what I want to do, you know, the mustache started about even with the beard here, so you want to kind of outline it, go around the outside. Your pencil mark just the guideline. Now we'll go below the mouth and do the same thing. Now this one, you try to base the mouth and go around and get him down there. Now I want to come out, make sure that's wide enough and come right on around. Follow that other line kind of around. And now we got a point there and a point here. That beard is kind of starting to run around there. Now I can cut right across, tie this path together here. That's it, right there. Now, with this, remember, our beard is coming down this way. The wind's blowing it. And you see here, it's coming around from here because the wind is blowing it that direction also. Kind of comes to a fuzzy point. Take it a little deeper. But this beard goes behind. This mustache lays on top of the beard, so that's going to have to be cut down. But the rest of the beard will show right here. It's continuing from here down. So this is beard. This is not beard. I have this mustache going down this way. Back up here, want to bring this on his forehead. Bit slips like that, it means I'm trying to hog too deep. See, that is deeper than here. And I'll show you why. You kind of start at the forehead there. And that's the eyebrow, so you want to see, it's going to be that sticking out. And that's doing good. This one here has to go behind there. There's a cheek coming down, so you want to kind of break that over and you got an eye. But you want to start rounding out here. Cheek kind of coming out there a little bit. Now we start looking up and get this other side the same. So we want to start across from the eye. Start getting it to match on both sides. all this one, and that's fine for the eyes. And I'm going to go around detail the eyes. I'm not the best on the eyes, but do the best we can do. Start out though with just round circles and have them kind of symmetrical. Then I want a bottom eyelid and a top eyelid, and for that, so I want to get a point, more of a pointed bit in there like that. Take a pencil and get an eyelid on here, and get a lower lid like that. Then we got a lower lid and an upper lid. It's going here the same way. You want an upper lid and a lower lid, just like that. I'm going to do that with this sharp pointed and go right around that. I think it's too sharp, so we will go with a little ball here. That's got a little ball on the end of it. That might be more controllable, and we'll try it again. The same thing, going around that top and bottom. You gotta bring it up here. Now we can get a wider cutter, more of an end mill, but it's flatter. We can round out these eyes. We'll round it out now. I think it looks pretty decent. It's best to take a pencil and get the pupils of the eye so he's not looking cross-eyed unless you want him cross-eyed. So we'll get a little bit with this charcoal here and get him looking straight out. Now I'll turn the burner on. Let's see if we can get this going now. See which one that's the right. So I'll turn that on, and there it is. I'm gonna let that heat up. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Now all you have to do is go right in there, and we're going to burn that right there. And that gives him a couple eyes that looks pretty good. He's looking straight at you there. What I'll do now is just take and burn a little bit where these eyebrows are at. I might get the other one for that. I think I will. These heat up pretty fast. Now I can lay this flat and get those hairlines that I carved in there earlier. Big old thick bushy brows. That's what we got. They don't have to be even. They don't have to be anything. Just whatever you want them to be. And then I'm going to go a little bit around the mustache here. That'll bring that hairline out, kind of highlight those hairs. All we do, bring it all the way down to there. Beard comes head down like this. This is kind of a flat burner, so you don't go down in the grooves. If you do a round one, like you did for the eyes, you'll end up a round brown spot, and you don't want that on these beards. And you slide that flat over, and it brings out those high spots. We go way down into here, and we just about got it. Keep it moving, because if you stop it, it's going to burn a hole where you don't want it. Or a spot. You don't want the spots in there. Sliding around, you can do a little bit of the hair up here if you want. I usually hit the hair a little bit. And the wood will get your tip cold too, so you gotta pull back every once in a while and let it warm up good. That's pretty well got it. You can run some color. I got a little down in here if you want it. Just wherever you want the highlights. Here we are on the bench, and I just got this stick stained. All I did was rub the Varathane golden oak wood stain on it. Got my rag out and just wipe it down real good. I didn't have my video turned on. and we're going to let it dry about 4 hours. We're going to put some clear coat on this, and I'll show you what I'm doing here. This is a poly coat, and you can see it's white looking, but it dries clear. Varathane Ultimate Polyurethane, and it's crystal clear gloss. I've already stirred it up a little bit, and like I say, this dries crystal clear, and I'm just going to put on fairly sparingly. It's going to get 3 coats of this before we're done with it. I do a light sanding with 400 grit between coats. Let that dry. I'm going to hang it up in my back room, and we'll finish it up tomorrow. I call it kind of a silk camo that I'm going to put on this. So I'm going to come up to right in here, down kind of in that area. So what I'm going to do is loop this, give me plenty here to come back and tie, leave plenty on this end. I'm going to say 2 feet. And I want to put that loop down below where I want the wrap to go to. We're going to start up here at the top and wrap around right in there. So I'll loop that like this, and one loop right below where I want it to go to. So now we've got that established. Now I want to take this loop and go around here and get this first one going, and that locks that holds that under there, and that loop, see, as we got it right there. I'll wrap it around again. Don't care if it's right together just yet, but I'm gonna wrap it around again, and then I'll start tightening it a little bit, not too much, just a little, and I'm gonna go around again. You got to get about 4 wraps around there before it starts holding pretty secure. And now I've got that loop pretty much locked in there, and this one's coming out. Wrap this around to get it out of the way. I want to snug that just a little, and we'll start turning it around just like this, and keep on turning it right around. Just keep on turning it around, and just keeping that loop right down through the middle, right there. This is about the simplest wrap you can do. I do a lot of them this way now, and I think they look really nice. Don't have to be tight. Matter of fact, you don't want it real tight, but you just want it snug against there. That gets really kinked up, but I just pull that out. I'm just pushing that kink right on down the road is what I'm doing. Right on down with it, right on down through there. I'm gonna go up here and pull another 3 foot off of this, come back into here somewhere. I'm gonna cut that off, right there. We'll stop that kinking up now, and we got that loop right there where we want it. Now, I think that'll be enough. Now let's take that loop and take this end. I'm going to run that thread through that loop, pull it right through like that. See that? Right through that loop is sticking out to the other end here where this loop is. And we pull this up. And what that does, that pulls that down in that loop here. So you just pull it a little further, pop up underneath there. That's about as tight as we can get it. I'm going to cut this as close as I can get it now. Right down to here. Right up in there. As close as I can get it. Right there. Now what I want to do is take a screwdriver or anything, and I'll pop this over that knot just a little bit. Now I'm going to pull that some more, and that'll pull that tight up in there and keep on going. There. Now that, I can feel that slip up in there then, and that's right up in there. It's got all that real tight now, all the way around there. See how slick that is? I think I'm showing that right there. And that loop has pulled that back up through there with this end right here. We want to tie a slip knot right here, and we'll eventually cut the rest of this off. But I want to have room enough to get your hand in there. Nice. And then you'll just simply tighten that up here in a minute. Around this, just so you tie a slip knot. It don't matter what kind of a knot you get in it. And see, that's sliding. So I'm going to put a little spot of CA glue on this. That'll melt that all together so that don't come undone. And that still slips real nice. Let me go get the torch, and we'll torch that up real tight. Now I use medium CA on this, but No glue down there where it's going to slip at, just up here at the top. And I use a little medium CA. The thin seems to run too much, melts that plastic together, or that nylon together there, to where this knot don't come loose. But I'm going to cut this off about an inch off of that, just like that. And then we take this little flame torch here, and I burn me a round ball on the end of that. So let's get squared around there now, and we'll take a close look at this overall stick. We just finished another stick here, and I want you to take a look at the face here. And this is a Windswept. You can see how the wind has blowed his mustache. Comes back around, blowed around this way, and see the beard and mustache is blown around to the back of the stick there. And is quite an expression there on his face, but there you have it on the face, and he's got hair in the back and all. And right down here is what I was wanting to tell you about if you get a kind of a shiny look to your 5/32 paracord it leaves you this pattern if you go around that. See, it has sort of a braided pattern. This black goes around this way, and what is it, like this, don't it? And then it runs both ways. But it looks like it's woven on there almost. And all I did was just wrap it straight around, fairly snug, and you get down to that end, it makes a real nice tight end on that end, because that end is snug, pulled way back under the top here, way back under itself. And then this bottom loop here is tied into where you pull that up at. So that can't come loose. And you got one here, that's your loop you originally started, and it's going down in there too. It's going all the way down through there and then back with that loop. So there you have it there, and you have this slider here that you can get your wrist through there and makes you a nice wrist strap. And when you get ready to come out of it, you can just pull it out. Also gives you a nice little place to hang it up with if you want to use it for that. It's a shorter one. Let me stand back here and I'll show you what it looks like. It's comes to right here on me, and it's just a nice little stick here, and not exactly straight, but it's not too crooked, and it gives you a lot of stability here. You can hold on top of his head, and he'll guide you through the woods wherever you're going. There he goes. Got a lot of buggy eyes there a little bit. That's just what I wanted. And I don't know what else to say except be sure and click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I'm going to try to get back in the swing of things. And like I used to, have a stick every Sunday. Still going to be every Sunday morning at 7 o'clock is when one's going to be scheduled to come out. And for hopefully now that everything's settled down a little bit better for me now. My wife had some difficulties, and we got her medication changed, and she's doing better now. You can keep the prayers coming, and everything, life is good, and that's on account of the grace of God that my wife's still with us, and thanks again for all the prayers. And with that, if you've already gave me a thumbs up and you've clicked that subscribe button, there's only one thing left to do. That's I'm going to say, I'll see you in the next video.